My last lecture finished a little before 8:30 p.m. The university halls, usually bustling with life, were now eerily quiet. Most of the lights were dimmed to save power, and the only sound was the lonely echo of my own footsteps on the polished floors. It was that specific kind of silence that feels heavy, you know? The kind that makes you feel like you're the last person on Earth. I had stayed behind to put the finishing touches on a project, feeling that small victory of getting something done. I packed my laptop and books into my bag, slung it over my shoulder, and prepared to head home. As I stepped out of the classroom and into the long, stretching corridor, my eyes caught a figure standing near the bank of lockers at the far end. It was a girl, her silhouette barely visible in the dim glow of the emergency lights. I was sure I hadn't seen her in my class or even around this department before. I started walking towards the exit, and as I got closer, she turned her head. "Hi," she said, her voice soft, almost a whisper. She introduced herself as Tina, explaining that she had just transferred into my class. She was polite, with a calm demeanor that seemed a bit strange for someone standing alone in a nearly pitch-black hallway. Her face was pale, almost unnaturally so, catching the faint green light from the exit sign above. I just figured she was shy, or maybe feeling a little lost being new. I smiled, trying to be friendly. "Welcome to the class," I said. "It's a tough one, but you'll get the hang of it." She returned a faint, fleeting smile and then asked, Could you walk with me to the other side of campus, near the old building by the courtyard?" It was a bit out of my way, but I didn't want to leave her to navigate the dark campus alone. "Sure, no problem," I replied, my voice sounding louder than I intended in the silence. So we began our walk through the empty grounds. The campus felt completely different at night. The wind rustled through the old oak trees, making their branches look like skeletal fingers reaching for us. The security lamps that lined the path flickered intermittently, like dying candles, casting long, dancing shadows that played tricks on my eyes. Tina didn't say much. I tried to make small talk, asking her where she transferred from and how she was liking the city. She mostly just listened, nodding and offering a small, polite smile every now and then. There was something about her silence, her complete lack of nervous energy, that started to make me feel uneasy. But I brushed it off. I was probably just spooked by the dark. As we approached the older wing of the campus, the air grew noticeably colder. This part of the university had been abandoned for years, left to decay after a planned renovation was scrapped. The halls here were even darker, with boarded-up windows and an air of forgotten history. It was the kind of place students told ghost stories about. We stopped at the entrance to the main corridor of the old building. "Well, this is it," I said, a little awkwardly. I turned to ask her if she came here often, or what her destination was in this derelict part of the campus. But when I turned, she was gone. Just vanished. 1 second, she was standing right beside me, close enough that I could feel the chill radiating from her. The next, there was nothing but the sound of my own quickening breath and the low moan of the wind. I called her name. "Tina?" My voice echoed down the long, empty hallway, bouncing off the peeling walls before fading into nothing. There was no answer. A cold dread began to creep up my spine, and then I saw it. At the very end of the corridor, where the darkness was thickest, a shadowy figure stood perfectly still. Its outline seemed to shimmer, to waver, as if it wasn't entirely solid, like heat rising from asphalt on a summer day. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the suffocating silence. The figure began to move. It didn't walk, it glided, moving towards me with an unnatural, silent smoothness. The air grew heavy, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. It felt like the temperature dropped another 20 degrees. I was frozen, my feet rooted to the spot. I squeezed my eyes shut for just a second, a desperate, primal instinct to make it all go away. When I opened them, it was gone. The hallway was empty again. That was all it took. Adrenaline surged through me, breaking the paralysis. I didn't think. I just ran. I sprinted out of that building, my lungs burning, not daring to look back. I burst out into the open air of the main quad, gasping for breath. The night felt normal again here, the flickering lamps seeming less menacing. But a deep, gut feeling told me that what I saw was real. I hadn't imagined it. The next morning, sleep-deprived and on edge, I went straight to the student affairs office. My mind was racing. Maybe she was a new transfer, and her paperwork wasn't processed yet. I had to know. I approached the receptionist and asked if she could look up a student for me. Her name is Tina, I explained. She's a new transfer in Professor Albright's history seminar. The woman behind the desk typed for a moment, her brow furrowed in concentration. She looked up at me, confused. "I'm sorry," she said. "There's no student named Tina enrolled in that class." I let out a nervous laugh. "That can't be right. I walked with her last night. Can you check again?" She sighed but obliged, clicking through her system one more time. She shook her head firmly. "Nope. No Tina. No new transfers in that class this semester at all." A cold knot formed in my stomach. It made no sense. I knew what I saw. I knew who I talked to. That night, back in class, I couldn't focus. My eyes kept drifting to the empty seat beside mine. The seat where Tina had supposedly sat. The one I'd never noticed before. But now it felt like a gaping hole in the room. I realized with a jolt that it was always empty. No one ever sat there. As the lecture dragged on, my mind kept replaying the events of the previous night. Her pale face, her soft voice, the walk across the dark campus, her sudden disappearance. It was all so vivid. The lecture ended and students began packing up. The lights in the classroom flickered once, then twice. My blood ran cold. I still feel it sometimes, that chilling sensation, a sudden drop in temperature, the feeling of eyes on the back of my neck. And in those moments when I'm alone after class and the lights start to flicker, I can almost feel a presence standing just behind me, waiting silently, waiting to walk home. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chills. Stay safe out there.